In a world driven by instant validation, where the loudest voices are often mistaken for the wisest, there lies an unspoken strength in quiet progression. To move in silence is to cultivate one's purpose without the need for applause, to pursue personal growth without the spotlight. This path is not only a choice but a necessity for those who seek true fulfillment. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the most iconic Stoic philosophers, once wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The power of this statement lies not only in its directness but in its underlying philosophy. Action speaks louder than words, and true strength lies in quiet, determined effort. The essence of Stoicism is found here, in action over talk, in the resilience of spirit over empty words. In today's society, the idea of moving in silence can seem almost foreign. Social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and the constant need for validation have created a culture that thrives on noise. People are encouraged to share every detail of their lives, to broadcast every success, every failure, every thought. But this need for constant sharing can often dilute our focus, our purpose, and our ability to achieve true personal growth. Moving in silence, then, becomes not only a Stoic virtue but a rebellion against the superficiality of the modern world. Imagine a craftsman, hammering away in a workshop, away from the noise of the world. His hands carve with precision, his mind focused solely on the task at hand. Outside, the world spins wildly, filled with the clamor of opinions, judgments, and distractions. But the craftsman is undisturbed, for he knows that in silence, he finds clarity. He does not boast of his progress or seek recognition. Instead, he lets his work speak when the time is right. His power lies in his quiet, determined movement toward mastery. This image of the craftsman, working in silence, is emblematic of the Stoic approach to life. The craftsman is not concerned with how others perceive his progress. He is not driven by the need for external validation. His only focus is on the work itself, the task before him. This kind of silent dedication is rare in today's world, where success is often measured by how many people know about your achievements rather than the quality of the work you produce. The necessity of moving in silence, then, is twofold. It allows for the preservation of energy and focus, and it fosters personal growth untainted by the expectations or judgments of others. Moving in silence is not just a strategy for success. It is a way of life, one that aligns with the core tenets of Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that has stood the test of time, originating in ancient Greece and Rome, but still holding immense relevance in the modern world. At its core, Stoicism teaches that we should focus on what is within our control and remain indifferent to that which we cannot control. This fundamental principle can be directly applied to the idea of moving in silence. When we move in silence, we are focusing on what is within our control, our actions, our decisions, our progress, without being swayed by external factors such as the opinions of others, societal expectations, or the need for validation. In this way, moving in silence is an exercise in self-control, a cornerstone of Stoic thought. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external sources. Epictetus, another well-known Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This mindset is crucial for anyone seeking to move in silence. When you are no longer concerned with how others perceive your actions or your progress, you free yourself from the constraints of societal pressure and gain the ability to act according to your own principles and values. In contrast, the modern world encourages noise. Social media platforms reward those who share every detail of their lives, creating a culture of oversharing and constant validation seeking. This noise can be detrimental to personal growth for several reasons. When we share our goals, plans, and ambitions prematurely, we often open ourselves up to criticism, doubt, and negativity. This external feedback can cloud our judgment, causing us to second-guess ourselves or abandon our goals altogether. In contrast, when we keep our plans to ourselves and move in silence, we can focus on what truly matters: the work itself. The need for constant validation can be a distraction. When we are constantly seeking approval from others, we lose sight of our own internal compass. We become more concerned with how others perceive us than with whether we are living in accordance with our values and principles. Moving in silence allows us to tune out this noise and stay focused on what is truly important. Noise can create unnecessary pressure. When we publicly announce our goals or plans, we often feel obligated to meet the expectations of others. This can lead to anxiety, stress, and a sense of failure if we do not achieve our goals on the timeline or in the manner that we originally envisioned. Moving in silence eliminates this pressure, allowing us to work at our own pace and make adjustments as necessary. The necessity of moving in silence lies in understanding two fundamental principles: control and timing. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the principle of controlling what we can: our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. To move in silence is to exercise mastery over oneself. By keeping our plans, ambitions, and progress to ourselves, we eliminate the distraction of outside opinions. We cultivate inner strength, honing our abilities in solitude, free from the pressure of comparison. In this space of silence, we learn discipline, patience, and perseverance. These are the virtues that build enduring success. Self-control is one of the most important aspects of Stoicism. The Stoics believed that by mastering our own thoughts and actions, we could achieve inner peace and contentment. Moving in silence is a practical application of this principle. When we refrain from sharing our plans or seeking external validation, we are exercising self-control. We are choosing to focus on what is within our control, our own actions, rather than being swayed by the opinions or judgments of others. In today's world, where instant gratification and external validation are highly valued, exercising self-control by moving in silence can be a powerful act of rebellion. It allows us to reclaim our autonomy and focus on what truly matters: our own personal growth and fulfillment. The wise Stoic understands that everything unfolds according to its own season. Acting too soon or announcing one's intentions too early often leads to failure or unnecessary setbacks. Silence allows for the cultivation of an idea or a project until it is ripe for action. Like a seed buried beneath the soil, there is no rush to show what is not yet fully formed. Moving in silence means allowing time for growth, for learning, and for correction without the interference of the world's gaze. Timing is another crucial aspect of moving in silence. The Stoics believed that we should act according to nature's timing, rather than our own desires or external pressures. In practical terms, this means waiting until the time is right before revealing our plans or taking action. By moving in silence, we give ourselves the time and space to fully develop our ideas, refine our skills, and ensure that we are prepared for the challenges ahead. Announcing our intentions too early can lead to unnecessary pressure and expectations. It can also invite doubt, criticism, and negativity from others. By moving in silence, we can avoid these pitfalls and focus on perfecting our craft before revealing our work to the world. Discipline is the foundation upon which silent progress is built. Without discipline, the practice of moving in silence becomes impossible. In Stoic philosophy, discipline is seen as a form of self-mastery, a way of cultivating inner strength and resilience. It is through discipline that we can remain focused on our goals and continue making progress, even in the absence of external validation or recognition. Moving in silence requires a high level of discipline because it goes against the natural human desire for recognition and approval. It is easy to seek praise for our efforts or to announce our intentions in order to gain validation from others. But true discipline lies in resisting this temptation and focusing solely on the work itself. Discipline also allows us to stay consistent in our efforts. When we move in silence, we are not swayed by the opinions or judgments of others. Instead, we are driven by our own internal compass, guided by our values and principles. This consistency is crucial for achieving long-term success, as it allows us to stay focused on our goals and continue making progress, even when the road is difficult. Patience is another key virtue in the practice of moving in silence. The Stoics believed that true wisdom comes from understanding the natural flow of events and accepting that some things are beyond our control. Moving in silence requires patience because it involves waiting for the right moment to act or reveal our progress. In a world that values instant results, patience can be difficult to cultivate. We are often pressured to achieve success quickly and to share our accomplishments as soon as possible. But the Stoics understood that true success takes time. Moving in silence allows us to embrace the process of growth and development, rather than rushing toward the end goal. Patience also allows us to avoid unnecessary setbacks. When we act too quickly or share our plans prematurely, we risk encountering obstacles that could have been avoided with more careful planning. By moving in silence, we give ourselves the time to fully develop our ideas and ensure that we are prepared for the challenges ahead. Solitude is another important aspect of moving in silence. The Stoics believed that spending time alone in contemplation was essential for personal growth and self-mastery. In solitude, we can reflect on our actions, refine our goals, and gain clarity on our purpose. Moving in silence often involves working in solitude, away from the distractions and noise of the outside world. This solitude allows us to focus on our work without the interference of external opinions or judgments. It also gives us the space to cultivate inner strength and resilience, as we learn to rely on ourselves rather than seeking validation from others. In solitude, we can also develop a deeper understanding of our values and principles. The Stoics believe that true wisdom comes from within, and solitude provides the opportunity to connect with our inner selves and gain insight into what truly matters. Moving in silence allows us to tap into this inner wisdom and align our actions with our values, rather than being swayed by external pressures or expectations. Moving in silence requires a quiet confidence, a belief in oneself that does not rely on external validation. The Stoics understood that true confidence comes from within, and that seeking approval from others is a sign of insecurity. When we move in silence, we are not concerned with how others perceive us. Instead, we are focused on our own growth and progress, confident in our abilities and our purpose. This quiet confidence is a powerful force. It allows us to stay focused on our goals, even in the face of doubt or criticism from others. It also gives us the resilience to keep moving forward, even when the road is difficult or uncertain. Moving in silence requires trusting ourselves and our abilities, and this trust is the foundation of true confidence. Quiet confidence also allows us to act with humility. The Stoics believed that humility was a key virtue, and that true greatness does not require recognition or praise. When we move in silence, we are not seeking accolades or attention. Instead, we are focused on the work itself, driven by a desire to improve and grow rather than a need for external validation. While moving in silence is primarily about personal growth and self-mastery, it can also have a profound impact on others. The Stoics believed that leading by example was one of the most powerful ways to influence others. When we move in silence and focus on our own progress, we demonstrate the virtues of discipline, patience, and resilience to those around us. This quiet leadership can inspire others to adopt a similar mindset. By moving in silence and focusing on our own growth, we show others that true success does not require external validation or recognition. We demonstrate that the most meaningful achievements come from within, and that the journey of personal growth is more important than the destination. Moving in silence can also foster deeper connections with others. When we are not constantly seeking validation or attention, we can engage with others in a more authentic and meaningful way. We are not driven by a need to impress or gain approval, but by a genuine desire to connect and contribute. This authenticity can lead to stronger, more fulfilling relationships, both personally and professionally. Humility is a key virtue in Stoicism, and it plays a crucial role in the practice of moving in silence. The Stoics believed that true wisdom and greatness come from recognizing our limitations and understanding that we are not the center of the universe. Moving in silence requires humility because it involves putting the work and the process above the need for recognition or praise. When we move in silence, we are not seeking attention or accolades. Instead, we are focused on the work itself and the personal growth that comes from it. This humility allows us to remain grounded and focused on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the pursuit of external validation. Humility also allows us to accept feedback and criticism without becoming defensive. When we are not concerned with how others perceive us, we can approach feedback with an open mind and use it as an opportunity for growth. Moving in silence fosters this humility, as it encourages us to focus on the work itself rather than the recognition that may come from it. While moving in silence may not provide the immediate gratification that comes from external validation or recognition, it offers long-term benefits that are far more meaningful. The Stoics understood that true success and fulfillment come from within, and that the journey of personal growth is more important than the destination. By moving in silence, we cultivate the virtues of discipline, patience, humility, and resilience. These virtues not only lead to personal growth, but also create a solid foundation for long-term success. When we focus on the work itself and remain undistracted by external pressures, we are more likely to achieve our goals and maintain that success over time. Moving in silence also allows us to enjoy the process of growth and development, rather than rushing toward the end goal. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from living in accordance with our values and principles, and moving in silence allows us to do just that. It frees us from the need for external validation and allows us to focus on what truly matters: our own personal growth and fulfillment. In a time when every move is expected to be broadcast, to move in silence is both a revolutionary and profoundly Stoic act. It requires self-awareness, patience, and the courage to resist the pull of immediate gratification. But in the quiet, the individual finds power. Silence, as it turns out, is not a void. It is the space where we build ourselves, where we lay the foundation for lasting achievement. When the time is right and our work stands completed, we will not need to shout. The results of our silent labor will speak for themselves. Moving in silence is not just a strategy for success. It is a way of life, one that aligns with the core tenets of Stoicism and leads to true fulfillment. In the pursuit of greatness, remember, it is the work done in the dark that will ultimately shine the brightest. If this video finds you well, and you'd like to see more to improve your life, subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to express your opinion in the comment section.